I'm saying I'm live, but I don't know if I am. I don't know if I'm working.
Not seen anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't refresh the page.
Hello. That's not you, is it, Chris? Hello. So, if you can hear me and you can see me okay, can you just leave a comment? We've got really bad internet here today, so this might not go well, but we're trying. Hello, good morning, Bannerific Tea. Hello. Well, it's afternoon here, so where are you? You're on YouTube. So, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Is anyone else around? Just wait 2 minutes. I hope the weather is as gorgeous for you as it is for us here. It's glorious today. It's gorgeous. Rachel, hello. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I think we're okay, Chris.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to shut that down so that it doesn't interfere? Because it's just lowered the bit rate. Just Elaine, hello. We're just because the internet is so bad today, honestly, it's just been bad for 2 days. It's horrendous. So anyway, do you want to shut down Facebook altogether for me, Chris? You didn't see that. He's sitting on my chair and it just suddenly went like that and fell on the floor.
Your foot.
You catch it with your foot. Caught the thing with his foot. That was hilarious. Breaking up. I'm sorry. If we're breaking up a bit, I think it's just a really bad connection. So I'm warning you now, just in case we do lose it completely, because there's just nothing we can do. We're kind of out in the country. Well, we're on the outskirts of York. Yeah, I think he's just shut Facebook right down. Let me just check that he's shut it all down. Just 1 second. We're just trying to make sure that we don't have anything else open. Just trying to make sure that we're not using the internet, so I'm just trying to shut everything down for you. So anyway, thank you for joining us. Who else have we got? So Bannerific, don't like calling you Bannerific. You'll have to tell us what your name is. In Florida, buffering all before, but seems okay now. Okay, thank you. So fingers crossed we're going to be okay. So I think we probably have to restrict to kind of like 2 o'clock latest for this one, because I just don't think it's going to last. The connection over the last couple of days, I can hardly even open the internet sometimes, so just a warning that it might all go horribly wrong. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Donatella's here. Hi. So I hope you're all okay. Before we even start, I've got to really apologise for the time. So it has been so long since I've done a live. I know. I know I've got a slight delay, so this is like getting a little bit weird. Hello, Jan. So I've got to apologise for not doing a live for so long. There's 2 main reasons. Firstly, I've had such a bad back since really well, the last year I've been really struggling, but really since November, and it's been really, really bad. And so, even though I've kind of been doing create and craft shows, you'll notice there haven't been many, and it's literally because there are times when I've not even been able to stand up for like more than a couple of minutes, and also kind of my posture, I've just not even been able to craft or do anything. So that's the main reason, because it all goes into my neck as well, and so I can't kind of look down very well and stuff like that. So I'm getting there, so I'm feeling a lot better now, and it's improving a lot, but it's still quite bad. So, you know, as we sort of start picking up on the lives again, I need to make them shorter, because on Tuesday doing create and craft, those 2 hours nearly killed me. So even though there was a break in between, so it's just literally today I can really feel it, and I'm really struggling. So that's the main reason. But the other reason was also that I broke this computer, and the camera wouldn't work. We've had nightmare computer and tech problems and stuff, so we've only just got it fixed and got to the bottom of what was causing it. So not all my fault, so I'm sorry. I know it's been a really long time. So anyway, let's get on. So you've probably seen, I assume that most of you've seen, hi Paula, Bannerific is called Trisha. Hi Trisha, that's better. Yeah, don't feel sorry for me, I'm okay really. I'm just whining. There's way worse things going on with people, and it's you know, I don't like to moan about it. So, as you may or may not have seen, we have a new release this week, which is absolutely lovely. So, I know lots of you have already got it. If you are not a VIP subscriber to our newsletter, make sure you get on the newsletter, because you do get special offers and discounts that are not anywhere else, and they're substantial. If you're on that newsletter, you save big time on any of the pricing. So, you know, make sure that you sign up. So the basically, should we just crack on with it? You don't want to see me. I'm going to switch over and switch to the overhead camera. So let's see what's going on, shall we? I'm a little bit lopsided and a little bit blurry. Thank you very much. I think I knocked my camera earlier when I put the battery in. Let's have a look. See. Can never get this straight. That's a little bit better. Okay. So I'm going to show you what we have, and just in case anybody hasn't seen, because not everybody's been around all week and everything, so we have a new set of stamps and stencils, and this is called our I can't remember what I called it, whether I called it mixed. It started off as mixed flowers and then it turned into flower bunches, but anyway, it's a beautiful florals collection. So we have stamps and stencils that coordinate together, and they're colour and create stencils. So you're going to actually be able to colour in your stamps with the stencils. So they're fab. And we did this a long time ago, and then we kind of didn't do it again, and I don't know why. We didn't do it for a long time. And I know from when we did the Funky Flowers range, you all absolutely loved having stencils to colour in. So you know, we'll keep doing them. I love it as well. It just makes everything so much easier. So you get your stamp pack, and then you also get your stencil with it as well. And you'll see this time, I always forget to do this, but this time I remembered, there's a little engraving line on your stencil, so anything that's in those lines belongs to that. So that's layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 for that particular flower. So you can see that they're in, so it's just easier to find them on the sheet, because we have to make the most of the sheet for you, otherwise we'll end up having to have 5 or 6 stencils per stamp, and that makes it really expensive for you. So by doing it this way, it keeps the cost down for you, which is not easy right now, because our suppliers, our stamps, and some of you may have noticed that our stamp prices have gone up, and the stencil prices, everybody is putting their prices up. The stamp prices have gone through the roof. So It's not that we're being greedy, it's just literally, you know, we just have to pass those prices on. We just can't absorb it anymore. We try and keep it as low as we possibly can, but it's pretty bad. So we had the Wild Sunshine, which is this one. So lovely little kind of wildflowers. These remind me of, they're sort of like dandelions or marguerite daisies. If you don't colour these, they are obviously white daisies as well. And I love that you've got the little daisy heads in there. And then we've got the peony, Bloom and Grow, which is gorgeous. The other thing is, on this packaging, if you want some inspiration, just scan this and it takes you straight to the gallery that's got all the design team samples in. So you know, if you're actually crafting and you can like, I can't think what to kind of make with this, say this is your phone, you just get your phone camera and you hold it over that like that, just your little camera. You need to go into your camera app on your phone, but just hold your camera over, and as long as you're online obviously on your phone, and it will open up the web page for the gallery. So you can literally then have your phone next to you like that and be crafting and looking at the samples and copying them. And I just think that's such a cool idea to actually have it there on the packaging for you, so that you can craft and see the samples at the same time. So that's the peony, which is gorgeous. These are much bigger than they look on the packaging. Look, this is ginormous. These are quite big stamps, these. So you're going to be able to make really nice big cards, or cards that really have a statement to them. Then we've got our anemones. I think this has been everyone's favourite actually. So the anemones are gorgeous. You're getting 3 flowers in there, stalks, leaves, and a couple of sentiments in each pack. And then also on here as well, just as a little guide to show you the layers and what else you can do. Now these all have stalks and stems included, so you can then make big bunches. And the whole kind of inspiration behind this was that, let me just grab the stamp that goes with this one. I've lost it. Let me see. Oh. Let me show you these, because these are a bit easier for you to see. So look, on the peony here, so you're getting this layer, so you can just blend with ink, add the next one and the next one, and you can end up making something like this. And then there's like an idea of how you can kind of make that composition. This is the lily one, which I'm just looking at there. I don't know what I've done with the stamp, it's here somewhere. So again, on this one, you know, you can make a really lovely effect just by layering. And then there's also a vase on this set as well, which is really nice, because that means that you can then kind of insert them into vases. You can use the vase for all the others. They're all sized to work together so that you can make bunches and things. Just going to say hello to Jacqueline and also to Angie Hills. Hello, thanks for joining me. So you can see these are absolutely gorgeous. So that's the main stamps and stencils. So there's four stamps, 4 stencils. But that's not all. So the thing I'm really excited about, and I've totally lost something. I was filming another video before we started, and I've just totally misplaced something, but anyway, never mind. So that's our stamps and stencils. Just move them out of the way so I don't get those dirty. And then on top, we are also going to give you some extra stencils. So the extra stencils, and I've lost the packaging for this. I don't know what on earth I've done with it. It's just vanished completely. Did I put it in the bin? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. It's just vanished off the face of the earth. No idea. It would be stuck between 2 pieces of paper or something stupid like that. But these are the switchables. So this is brand new. And basically what these are, so we've given you, I don't know about you, but I love when you see a card and someone has kind of blended blocks onto the card. Let me see if I can show you one that I made. So for instance, I think I've done them all. Yeah. So you know, kind of when you get this look, so when you kind of get this kind of effect, I just love it. But I can never, it's not that I'm too lazy, it's just like it's hard work to mask all this off correctly with tape and things like that. And so these stencils were born out of me wanting to do this effect. And I kind of thought that if it was too difficult for me to do, or too time consuming and faffy, it must be for everyone else as well. So let's make it really easy. So when you get these, what you're going to do, and you're going to have to excuse me because mine are actually, these have been so used. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take a pair of scissors and you're going to snip into these. Okay, I don't want to pull this one out, but there's just a little tab that holds this in place. You just need a little pair of scissors, just snip that off and snip the tabs off. There's just one at the top and one at the bottom, look, and they're just there so they don't get lost when they're shipped and packed. And then that leaves you with 3 apertures in here. Now these are great for creating slimline cards, which we're all absolutely loving right now. And this really was exactly why I created these and wanted them. So, you know, they're sized perfectly to fit your slimline look, and it just gives you that really great border. Now, the one thing I will say is that this is mine that I've been using. You can see I've only had this a week, can you believe it? But there's a reason why it's a little bit inky and grubby, and you'll see when I show you what to do with it. Now these arrows, I've put these on here because I actually designed this to go on the front of a DL. Not that it can only do that, you can use it for any size of card. I actually, as a designer, one of the things we kind of do is look at ratios of things. So this bottom edge here is, this bit here is slightly higher or wider than this one at the top, okay? So if you use it the other way up, what I found was I had a little bit more space at the top, and you want the space at the bottom. It's kind of like a picture frame. So make sure that you get the right edge at the bottom. It's not out by much, it's a tiny fraction, but if you notice it, you notice it, and it irritates me personally. So I just put arrows on mine with a Sharpie so I know which way up to have it, and it's actually a bit of a saver that having that on, because the amount of times I've actually put it upside down. And also the other thing is it helps me always do everything on the same side so the back of my stencil isn't getting dirty. So let's so that's the square one, and as you can see, we've actually given you 3 patterns in the square one. So basically the whole idea of this was I wanted you to have the apertures, but then I didn't want to give you a blank space or just give you the aperture bits, and I was like, well, what are they going to do with those? So I just decided that we would put patterns in there as well. So really this is a 4-in-1 stencil, but it's also a mask because you're masking off the area around your apertures anyway. So, you know, make sure that you don't lose these little patterns, because these are really useful. They look tiny and you kind of think, oh, what am I going to do with that? But they're just as useful as a big stencil, because you can make repeat patterns, you can you know, mix and match them. The whole reason these are called switchables is because you can switch everything around. You know, so here we don't have to, where's mine gone? Here, this one is out of the bottom here, but if you want, you can put it into the top one or into the middle one if you want. If you want to, you can actually put one on top of another and actually combine them and do completely different looks. It's entirely up to you. You know, this one looks quite nice when you actually overlap it onto there. Look at that one. You know, or you could create a diamond pattern if you want. So this is why they're called switchables. I wanted them to be as versatile and user-friendly, and you know, that you could use them as much as possible and get lots and lots of different kind of ideas and ways to use them. And I'm sure you're going to come up with things that I haven't even thought of. So, and on the packaging for each one, there is a few ideas on here. So you're going to be able to just create a blended area here. Now you can then stamp onto that. This is your patterns that you're going to do. You can combine that, so you could layer these patterns on top of your blended area. Then you can actually do that pattern as a, what we would call a step and repeat pattern, to create a pattern paper. But then also, look, you can create really lovely backgrounds just by combining the stamps in different ways. So it's up to you what you do with them, but there's a lot of different options. This is the circle one, which again is really lovely, and there's lots of different things of what you can use for these as well. And I'll show you the samples for these at the end, because since Tuesday when I was on TV, I've actually made a few more samples of these, and I have to say they're really addictive, guys. I can't stop using them. Honestly, I just can't stop. It's never ending. And again, on that one, I've also just put a little arrow on that one as well to remind me on that one. So let's get started. I want to show you some of the things that you can create and how easy they actually are. So I'm going to start with a blank piece of paper or cardstock. The one thing I would say is tape. This is where I keep going wrong, because I'm not a very clean crafter. So I'm going to actually tape down my cardstock, because I keep moving it, and it's very frustrating when I keep moving it around. And also I'm using this repositionable tape, which isn't very strong. So I'm just going to put that in the center. This is the other thing I love, is that you can line this up with your cardstock as well on the bottom or the top edge, so you know that it's straight. So I'm just putting that onto there, and then we'll just we'll start simple, and then we'll build up to some really cool ideas. So I'm just going to take my distress ink, and let's just blend into here. Let's do some different colours. Go yellow. And I actually had a really cool idea, so I'll show you in a second. This was the other thing I was thinking of earlier. So let's do, because you don't have to have them all the same colour, it's entirely up to you. I want to try and show you as many different ways as I can to use these, because I think you're going to be a bit addicted when you actually get them. And when you sort of see this, you know, you're kind of like, okay, I get it. How easy is that? Just how easy? Now, sorry, I just need to turn my phone off. Otherwise it's going to really annoy you. I have a timer thing that comes on every hour, and it's going to really annoy you. But how cool is that? So then what you could do is, let's take that back down again. So let's get our patterns. Let me see. I like this one. I really like this one. Now, what I would say is you can just use them with your finger, and I have to tell you, there is a slight gap between, if I can zoom in a bit, there you go. There is a slight gap between the pattern and the aperture. Look, it does move around. That's not something we have any control over, because it's where the laser actually cuts them. It has to have the laser itself actually produces a slight gap. This is the minimum gap we can actually have. The stencil people were a little bit anxious about it. They always say to me, why do you ask us to do things that nobody else does? And I kind of don't really have an answer for that, other than just because I want to, because that's what I want. So this is what I would recommend. You don't have to, but it is easier if you take the patterns down before you start using them. And obviously you have the channel of the stencil to do that with, because if you do it top to bottom, you can actually overlap onto the top and bottom. So on this one, now another thing, just going to zip again, I've just realised something. So depending on what your stencil brushes are like, if you've got any of these ones, I'll just zoom that back out again. if you've got any of these ones, these are going to work really well because they're going to get into the, with them being a little bit smaller, they're going to get into all the gaps nicely. I've only got a few of these. So I'm going to just go in with some pink. And look, now we can actually blend and create some patterns. So it's up to you how much you want to put in, up to you what colours you want it. This is what I love, it's just so cool. And yes, you could also use other stencils with these as well, so you're not restricted. Obviously, if you have another stencil pattern, you can actually stencil into them as well. And the best thing is that obviously you can use the circles in the squares, and vice versa. So, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. I like this one. This is one of my favourites actually, because it's more flowers. So with this one, you could actually go in. Now what I would say is, where your masking is, do that on an angle, so you do at the edges, right in the centres, and you only need two really to just anchor it and secure it in. So then you're not going to end up with a little gap here where you stencil, so we can do that. So let's go in here and just pick out and you often don't need to actually stencil as much as you think. So let's get a bit of yellow going on. And then what should we do on the top? I kind of feel like we need to have that one on the top as well. So we can just take that off. How cute that is. Now if you wanted to, I don't think I've gone dark enough there. Let's go a little bit more. These are very soft, these brushes. They're not my favourite brushes, I must confess. Let's just do. And also I do need some new ink pads. My ink pads are running out. I think I'm going to have to invest in some new stencil brushes. That's a better look. How nice is that? But look, now we've got this pattern going on here. So we could then, I'm not going to do it because I want to kind of carry on, but then you could do that one and then you've got it symmetrical. So you can see how they're going to work for you. This one is lovely, so I'm just going to quickly do this one. So I don't want to run out of time, I've got so much to show you. I know we can do another one, but look, we could actually just half do that one. Or if we wanted to, you could, we've got the yellow underneath there, and then you could come in a bit stronger and we could ombre this one. So you see what I mean? You're going to end up building up all of these really great patterns, and the more you use these, the more you'll actually find to use them with. And also you're going to get these little borders around, so you know you can cut these. Don't forget, you could cut these out and then mosaic them, but they're absolutely fab for creating mosaics. So that's using them with the patterns. Now I want to show you what else you can do with these. And I know some of you have already seen some of these techniques because I did use them on Tuesday, but not everybody watched the show. I know, because I've had loads of people saying that they missed it. So let's just do this one. So one of the things I do want to do, this is quite a cool little technique, and I think I might do it in the middle this time. So let's go blue. So we're just gonna, where did my tape go there? Got to excuse my fingers, my filthy hands, because like I say, I'm a bit addicted and I keep coming up with other things to do with them. So look, we can actually use them to create our own patterns as well. I'm a little bit, now look, this is where we're going wrong, look. I've got that tape on there. That's annoying. Right. Okay, let me just, so you can, even if it moves, you can come back. Let's do that again. So just remember to take that bit of tape off. To try and hide that out of the way now. There you go, that's better. So look, now, where are we? Let's go there. And I'm going to use the edge of my tape. Let's get another piece. And the edge of my tape there. And look, now we've got a stripe. So how cool is that? That would be really cool to create a really nice rainbow effect if you wanted to, or an ombre effect. You could do all sorts of different things with that. You just need to remember to watch where you're actually masked to, because you know, it's quite easy to overlap if you don't watch what you're doing. So let's just tape that back down there. This is coming off because all my tapes are getting unsticky. Okay, so I'm gonna go, I want to show you how we can really, this technique now is what really wowed me. So in fact, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Let's get a new piece of cardstock and let me just clean this off a bit. So remember, if you're swapping and changing around, remember just to clean your stencil off in between. A dry cloth is actually better than a wet one. And I know this is all about these stencils and not so much about the stamps, but you'll see why in a second, because we'll do some more stuff with the stamps next week or at another time. So let's go with, right, I'm going to use the wildflowers. So this is the one which has the lovely little bunches of flowers. Let me show you which one it is. It's this one. So I'm going to use the Colour and Create stencil, but I'm not going to use the stamps. And this is what was a game changer for me when I actually did this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create just a very, whoops, I've got my tape overhanging. Just make sure you don't have that tape. It's very easy to forget. So I'm just going to literally put a little slight colour swatch. Let me just move. Just realised you can't even see what I'm doing. Tape, tape, tape. And I'm going to put some tape down this side so it doesn't move here as well. Okay. Gosh, time flies. It's 10 to already. Crazy, crazy. So this is our Wild Sunshine stencil. And you've actually got little stems and things on here. So I'm just going to grab a green ink pad. And what I want to do is we're going to stencil right across the whole stencil. And we're going to put some of these stems in. And I'm not really looking where they're going or anything like that. There's a little one here. Okay. And there's a little one. Let me see. There's one there. Excuse the racket outside. and then we'll do, I'm going to join, I don't know if you can see, but I'm joining this one up with this one from underneath because I want it to go up into the top section here. Okay, and you can see already this makes me kind of go, oh, love this. So look, we have, and if you look at the stamp set, it kind of gives you a good guide. So we have these like seed heads. So let's use some of the seed heads, and I'm going to put a bit of yellow on those as well. So let's just put some yellow on the tops. Oops, let's get rid of them. Oh my goodness, love it already, really do love it already. So let's go in with that yellow and kind of pounce that in. So I want it to be quite, and just add that. They look really nice when you have a bit of green in with the yellow, because that's kind of what they're like in real life. I want a bit more green there. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And then we're going to go to our actual flowers. So let me just make sure I don't get my arm in the pinks. So with these, you really don't have to stick to the stamps on these. So you can do whatever you want. And there's a set of 3 here, which is the 3 that goes with this triple stem here, which is your main stamp in this set. So on these, what I would say from my experience of doing these already is, I would say go quite light with your ink, so on the first layer, and really sort of take the time to build these up. So we're going to just do those 3 there, so it's nice and soft. And then these 3 I had to kind of separate, so I couldn't put them in place because I couldn't fit them on the sheet. Now this is really forgiving. So if you look, this stamp here, or if you can see that, this one here is like what I would call a whole flat, so it's facing you. So just find the one that corresponds. It's this one. This one here corresponds with that, and this one corresponds with that. Okay, so let's find that one. But do you know what, it really doesn't matter that much, because they're so forgiving. It just doesn't matter if you get the layer right or not. So this one, oops, is going to go there, and what I'm going to do is I want to put a bit of pink in these, just to make it lift a little bit. So you see, you don't even have to match these up. You can if you want. It's up to you what you want to do with it. But you don't need to. It's not absolutely crucial that they match up. And if you wanted, you could just have a nice pinky peachy one in there as well. But it just gives this gorgeous like watercolour effect. So down here we've got another one here. A little bit, make that a little bit brighter, that one, and then the one that goes there is next to it, so we'll go heavier on the yellow there, and then we'll add a little bit of pink into the center, and you can see how quick and easy it is to build these up. So got one there, the one next to it, and I'm not even, you have the centers here, but I'm not even using the centers because you kind of don't need, well, you maybe need to on that one. Let's have the yellow center on that one. There you go. So you just basically keep building this up. Now we also have some greenery, so we've got some leaves, and they're really important not to miss the leaves out. So let's get the leaves. And this is why these stencils are so great. This is what I wanted when I created these. So I kind of went back to, it wasn't the original plan, the initial plan, but when I suddenly realised what we could do and how we could overlay these, I went back to the drawing board and I actually made sure that we could actually do this. So I changed the designs from what they were originally so that we could actually come in and do this, because I just think this is so pretty. And then one thing I really love to do on these is this little bubble just works so well. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of blue here, and if you just do little bubbles just in the corners, just not too much, just, and I don't take that one down, I just literally want just a little tiny bit. Oh, just love this look, just love it. So look, so we've not even got our stamps, this is just with the colour and create stencil. So look what happens. Oh my gosh, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that I absolutely love. I think it's so pretty. It's just gorgeous. Wow. These stencils, as I've been using them, I've actually thought of loads of other things that I want to do. See, look, I thought that those leaves were going to be too big, but look how well it works. It just, and just adding the patterns in there as well, they're just gorgeous, I think. So that is kind of what then inspired me to create lots of other things. So let me show you some of the other things you can do. So we go from that one that we've just done. So this is what happens if you actually use the stamps on their own. So here all I've done is just black stamped it into there, or you could do it with a colour, I suppose. And all I would say is, if you're going to do this, just be careful you make sure you press really well. It's a good idea to have a bit of foam underneath your work. I have these like really old bits of foam. These are actually stamping mats that we used to use before we had stamp platforms. But even, yeah, underwater it is, yeah. If you did that, yeah, if you went a bit heavier on the blues and the greens, definitely. And I think even with that, if you just did put a mermaid on there or something, or some fish on there, it would just look gorgeous. It would be absolutely fab. And you know what? I know I'm a bit obsessed about stamp soup, but when I actually look at this stencil, let me grab a bit of black card. When I look at this, and also this, when you look at this, that could easily be like underwater kind of seaweedy stuff. But when I look at this, you've kind of got, if you wanted to go stamp soupy, you've kind of got things that look like fish. Like this could be like, look, let's do it. Let's do it. This is what's so much fun, isn't it? Oh, you see? You're all going to get inspired. And look, you're inspiring me now. Because I never thought about doing this. But look. Let me just clean that off. So those leaves there. If we did that, they could easily be, do them in yellow, like little sand, but maybe not going to work, because maybe not with what I've already done to this. But look, little sand banks at the bottom. But you could, if you had a different colour, maybe not with yellow, but if you had a different colour, maybe. I haven't got brown with me or anything. But anyway. You get the idea. So, and there's no reason why you can't go in with a pen and kind of highlight things. I think you could make birds out of those leaves too. Yeah, absolutely you could, definitely. But yeah, look, you've got little fish shapes in here. So these could easily be fish. You've got like little fins and things. Look, there, this. That could easily be a fish tail. Let me show you. Let's do it in blue. little fishtail, look. Could even be a jellyfish upside down. How cute. And definitely, you know, they can definitely be wings, can't they? So look, this could be a bird. Look, we go on, don't we, with stamp soup. Honestly, we're just obsessed. So look, a wing there. And then just, I know I'm rushing because it's not what I'll kind of, I've got other things I wanted to show you, but look, you've got a little bird with wings there. So how cute. But yeah, absolutely love that. So what I was saying was, you just sometimes I find around the actual frame itself, because you've got the resist from the stencil, I just miss a little bit with the stamp and have to go back in. So just make sure it's well padded and you really press down, or use your stamp platform. As you know, I don't use one. So we had our stripes that we were doing before. Look at how many different things you can do. This one, same thing, but I just stamped it and then I actually coloured it with markers, and look, just interchanging that background. Look how gorgeous these stamps are. And you know, I think this stamp set was actually the one that after I'd done it initially, I kind of thought, not so sure that that one matches the others, because the others are all big and blousy stamps, but actually this one is so useful. I love it. Then look, I actually did some other patterns here as well, and I keep flicking these over. So this is another thing you could do. You could start to actually make your mosaic backgrounds. So this was just doing the centre and then adding 2 extra panels. We've not even used the circular ones yet. Then we've got, you know, these are sort of some of the other effects that you can do. So this was with oxides, so completely different look. Look how much impact there is there. I just moved the stencil slightly on that one. This one, as you can see, I just went in with a fine liner and traced around the stencil to pick it out. So where we were kind of doing some extra colour on the other one, this I love because I think this is so clean and simple. This is great for men. So Father's Day is coming up, you know, someone who doesn't have any hobbies, someone that's really hard to make a card for, you know, so you could just put Dad in the middle of that and that's it done, because they don't want anything fussy. They love geometric shapes and they love blue and red. So just go really bold with your colours and, you know, that's it. Look at this one. Love this one. So this is one of the ones I did on telly. So this is the Peony Colour and Create stamp. You can see here just some leaves off that, and there's that, just a little hint of that stencil, and then I've stenciled in and used the sentiment. So this is what I love. Look at this, how it's masking the stamps off without you needing to do anything. This one is gorgeous, I think. So this is the anemone set, and I just think these Colour and Create stencils combined with the switchables, and like I said, that wasn't intentional when I started this whole process. I've never seen this kind of stencil anywhere before. You know, I think this is kind of a new invention. But I've certainly not ever seen any other craft company do this. This one, look at these. So look how, so this is your vase, and then just that little bubbles, it actually looks like there's water in the vase, and your lilies. That would be such a nice kind of condolence card or something like that. I think it's really pretty. So that's all of those. And then just for the last few minutes, I want to just show you what you can do with the circles, because obviously it's exactly the same process with the circles. So let's have a look at some of the things we can do here. So just creating patterns. You know, we make cards, it doesn't have to actually be anything. Just create a pattern. And this sentiment is out of the stamp sets. And then look, this is that same one. This is that flower one. Look at this. So I just used that and created a background pattern. How lovely is that? You know, the only tricky thing you've got to do is just twist it around and just fill the gap. If you've got a gap, just go back in and fill it again with a bit more. But lovely for, you know, just gorgeous patterns anyway. This was one I made. You probably saw me do this on TV. So just as a tag, and then just stamping into it. Those wild sunshine stamps again. That was the first one I did, and I kind of went, oh my goodness. So and then here's another one, very clean and simple, you know, very understated, just with one colour, and just the same one again, but just adding a little bit more colour and a little bit more blending into these background panels. And then this one, I absolutely love this one. So this was actually the second card I made, and then when I'd done this one, I was like, yeah, right, this is a game changer for me, and I'm going to be addicted, and I am, because I've made all of these samples this week and I've had 0 time. So, and it's very, as you can see, it's really quick and easy to do. So that's the switchables, and that we've spent 3/4 of an hour just talking about those, so you can see how good they are. Now what I want to do is just quickly, going back to the other stamps, I'm just going to show you some of my favourite samples. So bear with while I just grab them. I've got so many, so this will just literally have to be a quick flick. So the original collection was designed around the fact that we were giving you a vase, and so you could make all these mixed vases of flowers. You know, because I see everyone doing kind of it's a peony card, or it's a lily card, or it's a rose card, but we don't so much mix them all together, and we've got everything in here. Stunning card, which is by Jane. So thank you for doing that, Jane. Absolutely gorgeous. Her colouring is amazing. The design team did not have the colour and create samples when they made these, so they're cursing me now, because it would have been so much easier for them, bless them. So lilies and anemones, this is Natalia. The stencil here in the background is from the Funky Flowers, yeah. So the Funky Flowers create and colour stencils, colour and create stencils rather. That's those patterns there, but you could easily, you could get that effect using this. So it's quite a similar one. So let me just, journal page from Natalia with the lilies. So these are lilies, okay? So these are the things you can make with the lily one. Stunning, again, that stencil from the colour, from the others. Look at this, got to show you this up close. Look at this. So all the texture here, and this is a little piece of like plywood frame, but she's actually made a little shutter to go on the front of that, just with cardstock, and then just layering those stamps up. And she's actually used, can't remember what they're from, not that old, they're about 4 or 5 months old, can't remember. It's got a watering can in that set. Right, I need to speed up a bit. So this is stunning. This is an easel card, but obviously I'm at the wrong camera angle to show you. But that's by Katrine. That's, I think Katrine, yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. That's actually one of my favourite cards. I think that is beautiful for something like a condolence card, or maybe just a card, just any kind of card, isn't it? It's just stunning. So I've got to flick through some of these. Love how Jane's been in the wreath mode, and again mixed flowers here. A lily vase, again, that's definitely great for her sympathy, isn't it? Because lilies are very much associated with that. Here she's made a big blousey flower, and look what she's done. Don't know, oh, that's the top of the vase that she's used there for a little glass. How cool is that? Didn't even notice that before. And then we've got one here where she's actually used a flower, a leaf off one of the sets, not quite sure which one it is, with the Super Sprigs die. She's put the vase upside down, so Jane, she has to stamp soup everything in sight. I know what she's like. She's ace. I posted this on social media today. So this is by Rachel, absolutely stunning. So anemones in the vase this time. Oh, this one. Oh my goodness, gorgeous. What can I say? Stunning. This is the cardinal from our Christmas set last year, so just works amazingly well. Beautiful. Another great one, just very softly coloured. This one you could definitely use the Colour and Create stencils with to create this. So I love the soft colours on there against the black. This is one of the demos that I did actually on the TV. So this is all done with the Colour and Create stencils. Breathtaking from Jane. I'm just grabbing the other samples to show you quickly. Oh, there's too many, I can't show you them all. I need to just grab some. They're all falling out of my hands. But absolutely stunning from Jane. Another gorgeous anemone one from Rachel. So look at all the, I'm just going to have to go faster. These are Katrine. Look at this, how pretty is this? And just like, she's just foiled that sentiment on the front. There's a little bit of vellum under there, that's gorgeous. And look, she's done the same, she's foiled this one as well. Do you know, I never even noticed that. Clever Katrine, very clever. She obviously has a foiling machine. So then we're on to the Wildflowers one, so the Wild Sunshine. Love that with the craft card. Another journal page, stunning. So I'm determined to get through these. Another one, so pretty. Just quite clean and simple, that one, but I love it. Love this one by Katrine. So some nice gold effects going on there. She's obviously been in a gold mode. Love the way she's only used half of that. Isn't that cool? Some little mixed media tags. So that's one that I made on TV and put a wonky thing on, so ignore that. But look how lovely that is when you actually layer those up. And these aren't actually very difficult to cut out by hand. We were supposed to have dies, but I had problems getting those in time, so watch out because we've got some dies coming soon. Peonies, stunning. That's Katrine, I think. God, look at the colouring on there. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've got to save that one. Another one from Natalia. Her colours that she uses with her inks and paints is just amazing. Look at all this texture from Katrine here. Gorgeous. Like a nice plaque. Isn't that lovely? Be a great gift for someone. And this one, I think that's Jane. She uses, yeah, she uses hexagons quite a bit. I don't know which way around that goes. I think that way. But I love that. And another one. Nearly at the end. Just determined to show you them all. So a bit steampunky on that one. Look at this one. Guess who that's by? Natalia. You can see her work a mile off. She's so strong on her colours. Gorgeous. I missed one, which is one of my favourites. This tiny little, just a little cheap notebook. Look at that. What a lovely gift to give someone. And then I've got to show you this. I've actually done a video of this, so you might have seen this already. But we have here this lovely notebook. And this is by Natalia. So let me just show you that again. So it just hooks around here. A little bit of vellum on the front there. And then it's like a little flip book. And then what she's done is created all these like little slats. How gorgeous. Ah, but she ain't getting this back. I tell you, this is the same with me. There's no way. So she's just done one each for each of these. Obviously she's got some dies here that she's used, some frame dies and things, and created these little pockets. But that's actually not difficult to do. If you've got the, we'll try and make that maybe at some point. So that's it. That's kind of what you can create. I'm gonna have to sit down for a little bit. Ooh, my back's going. If you can see the mess I've just created here, wow, it's a bit like when I go on TV. Let me just go back to the camera. So I hope that's inspired you all to get stenciling. And we haven't even touched the stamps. So I'm just reading some of the little book. Yeah, the little book is gorgeous, isn't it? This little book. She can get these back. No way. No way. None of these samples are going back to these girls because they're all amazing. So I hope that's inspired you all. Friday, ready for the weekend. I don't know whether you've got your kits yet or not. I know most of them have actually gone out in the post. There's a few, I think, that are going out Monday. But I think the majority of them have already gone out. We'll do another live where we do some stamping with this collection. So what I might do is wait until maybe we do it next Friday, so that you've all got your kits in time and we can all do like a bit of a craft along maybe. So anyway, I hope the team have inspired you. Massive thanks to them for all of that amazing inspiration. They make my job so much easier. And we did actually manage to get through a whole hour of internet, which is just a miracle, because I really didn't think it was going to work today. Nothing else has. So thank you so much for joining me. Just in case you don't know what I've been talking about, it's actually the mixed bunches. I can't remember what I've called it. Mixed flowers. That's it. Mixed flowers. So it's the mixed flowers, and we've got stamps and stencils, and the Colour and Create stencils as well. So lots of you for you to go at. We've tried to do this at a really good price, even though we're getting hit on all the prices from the manufacturers. But we've tried to do it at an affordable price, hopefully, where you've got quite a lot in the kit. So I'll be sharing lots of samples over the next few weeks. But like I say, when you get your packaging, just remember to scan this little, where is it? This side. Oh, can never do that. This little QR code. So open the camera on your phone and hold it over the code, and it will automatically take you to the online gallery, so that when you're crafting, you can have your phone next to you and actually be scrolling through the photos on your desk. So you don't need your computer, you can do it on your phone. I've purposely put that on there for you, so it's an actual gallery rather than it going to the website. It's the gallery for these stamps and the whole collection. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and have an amazing weekend. It's gorgeous here. I hope it stays sunny all weekend. It'll be lovely. I'm decorating. We're trying to sell out. We've got to sell our house, and it's like the worst time in the world to do it. But hopefully it'll be. We'll be getting the estate agent in next week. So I'll be painting the kitchen, the living room, the stairs all weekend. So that's my weekend done. So thank you for joining me. Is there any questions? I don't know if there was any question. I was trying to keep an eye out. I don't think there was. Oh, Carol. And most of these cards made by stamping and colouring the flowers and then fussy cutting them and putting them on a background. If you were going through the samples that I was just showing, then yes, these were, because they didn't have the Colour Create stencils, but you have Colour and Create stencils that will colour all of these flowers. So the techniques I was showing, so if you've come in at the end and you've missed quite a bit, so to get this kind of effect, just go back, because you can replay this. It won't disappear. It'll save on the page wherever you're watching. So you'll be able to go back and see all the other things that you can do with this collection. We do sometimes have dies that cut the stamps out, but we didn't for this particular collection. So you will need to fussy cut them. But as I was saying, they're actually quite easy. Let me just show you those stamps again, because they are quite easy ones to cut. They're quite big. So you can see, this is the lilies. So you can see, look, they're not difficult to cut out. The most difficult bits are actually the bits of foliage, I think, on these. They're quite big stamps. So this is really easy. It's just the leaves that, you know, are probably the most complicated thing. And this one's quite easy as well. So if you just leave that little white border all around, and it makes it so much easier. I've just yeah. What I am going to do, I forgot to do it. I was going to actually make SVGs for you, so that you have the outlines to cut the stamps. And I've forgotten to do that. I will do it on the next sets that we do. I'll do it for you. So that if you have a cutting machine, you can actually cut them without the dies if you need to. Right, okay, is there any more questions? I think I got them all. Yeah, Kate Andrews, yeah, definitely go back to the beginning, because there was some really nice techniques at the beginning. Lots of different things that you can do. how they did backgrounds without colouring the stamps. Yeah. So they've all coloured them. So they've used inks, markers. I think most of these have been done probably with Copics or alcohol markers and inks and different stencils. So yeah, we didn't get the stencils until too late, so the guys didn't have stencils to work with, so they were literally just stamping, and that's why you're not seeing these stencils in their samples. But there is a whole gallery, so all of these are actually not all of them, because some of these I've made today actually, just for you, but I will get them online and show you all, get all the others online into that gallery as well, so you'll be able to see all of those. Right, I am going to love you and leave you, and have a wonderful afternoon. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully now normal service is resumed and we can go back to having regular lives. Now the computer's working, now the camera's working, and now I'm back working properly, well, semi-properly. Again, not that I ever work properly anyway. So thank you so much everyone. Thanks for your support. We really appreciate it. Have fun. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks. Bye bye.